What's good, y'all? It's Solution back at it with another mental gym video in which I give you guys mental exercises you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals that you are after. So let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about Stoic. The mental exercise that I have for you guys today is Stoic. So you guys have probably heard the word Stoicism before or Stoic before, but the way I have defined it in the context of achieving your goals is becoming less reactive to potential stressors to be able to achieve your goals. So, on the path to achieving your guys' goals, guys, shit is gonna go wrong. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes. Nothing is going to go as exactly as you planned it. So, what that means is these stressors, these mistakes, or these random unpredictable shit that happens to you, you need to become less reactive to it. Because the problem is, think about it, if every single time some shit goes wrong, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? End of the world, we can't do this anymore, life is over, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna waste so much time when you could just be like, oh, that happened? Cool. Keep doing what you need to be doing. That happened? Okay, cool. Keep doing what you need to be doing. Because if you're so overly reactive to everything that happens to you, it's gonna be so hard to make progress. If one guy over here is just like, okay, shit happens and keeps going, and you're over here, shit happens, you're like, or shit happens, you're like, or shit happens, you're like you're going all over the place. This guy who's just consistently going is gonna get to where they wanna go as fast as possible. Whereas you're going to be going all over the place. You might be up here, down here, going all over the place, and there's just no consistency in how you deal with situations. And so there's going to be no consistency with you taking action or you consistently doing the actions that are going to help you achieve your goals. So obviously, you want to make sure you avoid being very reactive. But how can we do this? And that's where I get into the mental exercise for today. And simply, I put it in the form of a question because oftentimes with a lot of my mental exercises, it's either you just need to do something differently or you need to look at shit differently. And this is more one of those you need to look at shit differently, right? So think about it. So let's say one random, really stressful thing happens to you on whatever path of goal achievement you are on. Something fucked up happens, right? I'll drive a perspective into your head. Let's say you play soccer and I love using soccer examples, but let's say you play soccer and you misplace a pass. So obviously you'd be like, fuck, you didn't want to do that. But then this is where the mental exercise comes in. You're like, okay, if this occurred 5,000 times, would I get used to it? So, sticking with the soccer example I just gave, if you were to misplace a pass and that were to happen 5,000 times, I'm not saying in a row, but that occurrence of you misplacing a pass has happened 5,000 times, would you be used to it? In the sense that, would you be used to this potential mistake that could occur, which is misplacing a pass? Not trying to force an answer into your guys' heads, but probably yes. And the reason why it's probably yes, and to further convince you guys, if you're like, no, I wouldn't, I'd still be mad. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated at mistakes, but I'm saying because the goal here is to be less reactive, right? But think about when you were a kid. When you hit your leg against something, or let's say you stubbing your toe still kind of hurts. So let me not say that. But let's say you hit your arm or leg against something when you're a kid. You're like, you start crying. You're like, bro, that hurt, blah, 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 blah. Hell, mom, blah, whatever, right? But now, let's say, hopefully, now, when you hit your leg or you hit your arm against something, you're probably like, ow. You just move on with your life. So why, when you were a kid, you were screaming about it, but when you're older now, you just say ow and move on? Because it has happened to you so many times that you're used to it. It's just like hitting your arm or leg against something is like just a part of life now. Like it's just a part of being. It's like it's almost like doing that shit just reminds you you're a human being. Like to be honest, it's almost like that not happening. Some shit feels unnatural, right? So the fact that when you hit your arm or leg against something, you're just like, ow, move on, means you have normalized it. And that's essentially my goal here with this mental exercise, or I want you guys to realize and think. If you have a mistake that you make on the path to achieving whatever goal you're trying to achieve, it's probably a common mistake on whatever path of goal achievement you're on, right? Obviously, if you're doing what you need to be doing for whatever you're trying to achieve and an asteroid hits the planet, that's clearly not a common mistake, right? Because that's completely out of your control generally. But the point is, whatever mistake you're probably making, like misplacing a pass in soccer is a common mistake. Like that's a normal thing. Every player does it every once in a while, whatever, right? So for that reason, you just need to apply your mind and realize, okay, if this happened 5,000 times, I'd probably be used to it. So instead of, let's say it happened to you for the first, like whatever this mistake is or stressor happened to you for the first or second or third time, instead of getting mad and having to work your way up to it, you can leap yourself into the future by just forcing your mind to adapt sooner. You want to normalize it, just normalize. Like literally just normalize whatever the thing that just occurred is sooner. Put yourself into this frame instantly. Be like, okay, if this happened 5,000 times, I'd probably get used to it. So just literally be like, okay, this is just a normal thing. So now when this occurs again and you've thought this thought, you're going to be like, oh, this is just a normal thing. This is just a normal thing. Until the point that it literally will just be a normal thing. Because as human beings, we create and destroy meaning. We decide when things are meaningful and we decide when things are not meaningful. So the sooner you realize something is not as meaningful as you think it will start to affect you less. But if you think something is very meaningful, like when we were a kid and we hit our arm or hit our leg against something and we were like, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we thought what just happened was so meaningful, like we're going to die, right? Because obviously our lives are meaningful to us, right? We thought we were going to die. But as we got older, us hitting our leg or arm against something was just less meaningful. We're just like, oh, ow. Like we just recognized pain and then just moved on. So in the same way, for whatever you're trying to achieve, you just need to realize that whatever mistake you've made or whatever potential stressor or thing is coming at you is just a part of the game. It's almost like in the same way when you hit your arm, it's like you just kind of remember you're alive. In the same way, when you make a mistake or something goes wrong or there's some potential stressor with whatever you're trying to achieve, it just be like, oh, that's just part of the game. Misplacing a pass, part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, making a grammar mistake on my essay, part of the game. Working on it, all these things, of course. By the way, as a disclaimer, I'm not saying you should be like, oh, I want to make mistakes. Obviously not, guys. But when they do occur, because sometimes they just occur, just be like, okay, cool, and then just get back to what you're doing is what I'm saying here. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say here. Mistakes and fuck ups and things that we do not want to happen are actually a part of us doing what we want to happen. It's just a part of it. So we just need to make it all a part of the game. Normalize everything sooner. And this has helped me out so much because it's almost like giving me permission to just do the shit I need to do. Because if you think so much about not wanting shit to go wrong, obviously you prepare, you do everything you need to do, you do everything in your control. But if you think so much about not wanting to fuck some shit up, you just end up doing nothing. And a big thing I always say on this channel is in order to achieve your goals, you have to do something, right? So you want to avoid doing shit or adopting or having mindsets or behaviors that prevent you from doing. Whereas if you just normalize the potential mistakes that are a part of whatever you're trying to achieve, it makes doing so much easier because you're less reactive to shit going wrong. And that means you have more energy and more focused energy to focus on doing the things that actually help you become successful, meaning you will become successful faster, which is what I would assume all you guys want. So going over it one more time, for Stoic, the definition I came up with for it in the context of achieving your goals is becoming less reactive to potential stressors to be able to achieve your goals. And by potential stressors, I mean mistakes, things going wrong, people getting mad at you, haters, literally anything that could potentially stress you. that is not the ideal outcome. Basically, non-ideal outcomes. Like just non-ideal outcomes that are just a part of whatever you're trying to achieve. Just non-ideal, right? Non-ideal outcomes. Just to remind you and put it into your guys' perspective. So non-ideal outcomes. So in order to become less reactive, you need to create and destroy how meaningful something is, right? And a great way to do this or to get your mind to start thinking about this is you can use whatever big ass number you want to use. Doesn't matter. You have freedom with this. Just if this occurred 5,000 times, would I get used to it, right? If I had fucked up a pass 5,000 times already before, I would probably not give a fuck about it, right? You'd probably get used to it. And the reason why I know this, or you have already probably living this truth, is because when you hit your arm or leg against something, you don't start crying and yelling and screaming for your mom like you did when you were a kid because you're used to it. It's a normal part of life now. So instead of waiting till the third, fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 100th time and you're still getting very stressed or really reactive about it, just normalize it sooner. Think it has already occurred to you 1,000 times already. Think whatever fuck up that has just happened has already happened to you 5,000 times already. Then you already put yourself in a perspective where whatever bad thing or stressor that just happened, not something that's worth a big reaction out of you. It's like, oh, cool, that happened. So you can shift your attention, focus more on doing what you need to do to accomplish whatever goals you need to accomplish so you can move faster, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much my stoic mental exercise. I really hope this makes sense. So please give me feedback on this. Do you like understand what I was trying to say? Are you like, okay, yeah, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Like fucked up shit happens. Like things that stress us out happen. Mistakes happen. And if I just normalize them and realize, oh, this is just part of the game. This is just, it all comes with the package of being successful and grinding and trying to accomplish goals. I'm like, okay, cool. Then you'll be less reactive to it and you just focus on doing what you need to do. Or you could be like down in the comments, like, fuck this video. This made no sense. You're helping absolutely no one. You should have explained it like this. You should have written more. You should have said more. You should have given more examples. Whatever you need to say to believe this would have improved this video so I can become a better YouTuber to make better mental exercises that better serve all you guys. And if you liked it, please, please, please like this video, boost us in the algorithm so more guys can see it, and make sure they're not allowing dumb shit or mistakes that are all really a part of the whole game and a part of the whole journey of becoming successful to stress them out too much so they can focus more on doing the actions that are actually going to help them get to where they want to go. And I guess with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next Mental Gym video. Peace.